So welcome to another episode of Leadership Live. I am really excited to have Ayanda Mbatha with us today because Ayanda, you have an incredible story that I want everybody to hear about. Hello, Ayanda.
Hello, Daphne.
So just a little bit about Ayanda before we dive in. Ayanda Moses Mbatha is an experienced mechanical engineering technologist who's now working at Rockmatics. And a fun fact about him is that he's also an award-winning innovator at the Raising Legends Awards for the Video Interview Competition Initiative, which is really exciting. And today we are going to talk about your story, Ayanda, of courage and resilience, of overcoming obstacles, including retrenchment and unemployment during the COVID-19 pandemic. And that was turned into a published case study by Dr. Frank Machwechwe, a resilience researcher at the Gordon Institute of Business Science, GIBS. So I love your energy, Ayanda. I love your story. It caught my attention. And I think when you reached out to me on LinkedIn, I think it was, it just shows the level of energy that you have in terms of making things happen in your life and how you deal with challenge and hardship. So I'd love to dive into that story, if that's okay with you, and just tell us a little bit of what happened, what happened? Where do we start in that whole period?
So thank you so much to your listeners who are going to be listening this, and also to your viewers who are also going to be watching the video. So basically, where it all started is when I was now working for this company, Rheinmetall Ammunition, where I first did my internship as a project management intern, and then I transitioned onto a permanent role as a mechanical engineering technician back in 2017 September on the 1st. And then time went on, things were going good. The company was excellent, things were going excellent. And then 2019, close to December, I started seeing on the news, there's COVID, China, COVID. I was like, what the hell is this? Okay. We'll never get this in Africa. I couldn't understand.
Come to Africa, right? China is miles away.
Nah, it's miles away. And then January, now things now it's starting to pick up. It's starting to come to Africa now. And then we had that person who went to Italy. Oh, that person. That person just brought it back to us. And then at that time, my world changed without me seeing it changing. Because for me, it was still, okay, COVID-19, now things were changing. Now the company said, oh, we can no longer transport our ammunition because it was an ammunition company. So obviously sending stuff over abroad to all the different countries that they are obviously dealing with as their clients. So now shipments were no longer working. Ships were no longer moving. Airplanes were no longer moving. Nothing was working at the time. So then the company, all this ammunition was now at our base in the Northwest, which meant that the company couldn't export anything or even import anything by that matter. So it meant that the company now they had to move to a Section 189. So Section 189, what is Section 189? Oh, retrenchment. I was young. I was like, nah, it wouldn't happen to me. Currently, I'm 28 years old. And I think by that time, I was like 25 years old, about to turn 26 during that year because I'm an August baby. So still young. I'm like, nah, this would never happen to me. So I was relaxed. Time went on. Then February, then the discussions started, consultations and all that. So now things were starting to move, but they were not moving into my direction. As time went on, and then my manager then called me in and started to explain to me, say that, as you know, that we've embarked onto this situation now, it means that we've moved to Section 189, and you've also been identified as part of the group of people who are now going to be part of that group. And the unfortunate thing is, it was more like a last come in, first one out, because in my department, I was the youngest, and I was like probably the last person to be hired, especially specifically in my department. So, and at the time, I didn't have a BTech degree completed. I only had a national diploma in mechanical engineering. So, the odds were not in my favor. And I was like, what? And then during that conversation, it was like I just stopped listening.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the shock.
Like,
The shock makes you stop thinking, your brain can't respond to what's going on, and that you thought this isn't going to happen to me. How often do we think this isn't going to happen to me? Even with the pandemic, we thought, no way it's going to last this long. No way it will be over very quickly. In South Africa, maybe it won't even reach us. I mean, remember, South Africa took a long time to get to a place where it was also affected by the pandemic. So all these thoughts of this won't happen to me, that's something that we experience often in our lives. That's not going to happen to me. And then it happens to you.
then it happened. And as it happens, I then what I did after that meeting, after the explanation, I called my mom. So when I called my mom and told her the sad news, you say, and I was crying. I'm one of those people. I deal with my emotions. Yes, I'm a man. I'm very strong. But when certain things happen, and I have to be emotional, and I'm emotional, I'm one person. I don't want to hide it. I'd rather deal with it because I believe that it comes off my system in order for me to think and heal fast and then deal with it. Because the moment I don't be in that emotion and let it out, it's going to trouble me. Then I won't be able to move forward. I won't be able to make conscious decisions because I'm still having that hurt inside of me.
Exactly.
So I
That's
needed
so
to
important what you're saying right now. I just want to say is, first of all, to not be ashamed or embarrassed when you have strong emotions and you want to cry. Tears are a release of emotion. It's nothing, it doesn't show weakness, but to be able to show that level of vulnerability and process your emotions in this way, I think then really sets you up for saying, okay, I'm feeling sad, I acknowledge it, I recognize it, how do I move on? What's the next thing I want to do? And I think just to be able to own that, and even now you're saying it out loud, yes, I cried. This is something, because when you lose your job, it's a big deal. And you were in that job for 7 years, right?
So basically, in the job, I was there for 3 years and 9 months in the company
Nearly
in
4
itself.
years.
So already, like, I was emotionally attached to the company, emotionally attached to the people, emotionally attached to the environment.
It's a big shock
I was
to the
having
system.
fun.
Yeah, big shock to the system. And also, I will just add that in South Africa went into this very intense period of lockdown for a long time, for a few weeks. I don't remember how long it was, but it was a long time. And 3 million level 5, right? 3 million South African people lost their jobs in that period, which is really devastating, really, really devastating to all of those people and those families. And the shock of just, okay, everything's going fine, and in 1 minute, everything changes. That's a big deal.
And it was how I actually dealt with that emotion. What I did was I called my mom, this is what has happened. So mom is like, okay, my child, you'll get a new job. I'm like, but does she understand? You know that feeling, but does she understand? But what I love about her is that she understands in her own way.
Yes.
She won't understand the way you wanted to understand. She'll understand it in her own way. So the response is like, no, I believe in you. You've got the abilities. You are well educated. You are well spoken. So my child, you are very talented. You'll get a new job.
Go, mom. I love that. Yes, go, mom. We need our moms who believe in us in the hardship and the challenge. Our moms will always stay by our side. It's amazing.
Because the emotions, the way they hold them, I don't want to lie to you, they hold them in so many different ways. Because I think also that part of that, they carried us for 9 months. I think that emotional attachment, it hits onto the nerve to them. So the way she was handling it, it was so different. So I'm busy wiping my tears. I call my oldest brother. Hey, brother, Ayanda Mbatha. Hey, this is what has happened. He's like, how are you feeling?
Sorry, Ayanda, you just... brother. Go for it. You just got on mute, so...
No problem. So I call my second oldest brother, Charles Mbatha. Say, now this has happened. I've just lost my job, retrenchment. He also said the same thing. You'll find a new job. They were all relaxed. I called my third oldest brother. He said the same thing. And then I called my sister, my younger sister, who was still in Vaal University of Technology, still studying. And I was assisting her with money, assisting her with her studies and all those things. So I said to my sister, I can no longer give you that money end of the month for you to have pocket money, all those things, because now I've just received retrenchment. So he was like, okay, brother, I understand. Thank you for telling me, but you get a new job. So after those calls, I said to myself, but my family, we are actually 5 of us, and then my mother is a sixth person. So 4 boys and 1 girl. And the way, obviously, I've always known that me and my family were very close. They were all singing the same tune, and I was calling them right after each other. So there was no way that another person could have called someone
Yeah.
else. It was like one call to another. They all sang the same tune. So immediately that said to me, wipe your tears. You get a new job. If your family can believe in you at this time where you feel like you are down, you feel like you are at the bottom of the barrel, there has to be a way forward. From that moment, I then started having different ideas. What can I do going forward? So it
Wow.
was going to be
So
a
it was a very quick turnaround for you from that moment of, as you say, bottom of the barrel, what am I going to do now? How could this happen to me? To saying, okay, let's come up with some ideas. What am I going to do? And you're talking about your family support here. So your family, the fact that they didn't let you for 1 minute believe that they could have responded differently. They could have said, oh no, what a disaster. What are you going to do? This is such a terrible time. No one's going to get jobs now. We're going into lockdown. How are we going to deal with it? All of those messaging, they didn't do that. They went to, don't worry, we believe in you. You'll get a new job. You'll find a new job. And it feels like in that response, that helped you to shift your thinking and your mindset to, oh no, what happened, to, okay, what am I going to do about it? How am I going to find a new job?
Yes. Because, Ms. Daphne, as much as we can be strong mentally, whatever you can say, oh, you're that strong, there are moments in your life where when you get hit, you need other people to pick you up. And luckily for me, I've always been close to my family. So I know when I'm happy, when I'm sad, the first people that I call is actually my family. And obviously my girlfriend after that.
Fantastic.
So
Does she know?
and
Does she
also
know
that
that's the order?
yes,
First family, then girlfriend.
yes, she knows that. Up until I take her as my wife, obviously the roles will change.
Okay.
She's gonna be number one and the family's gonna be number two. So, so for me it was very important because that support structure, because even when I
Yes.
told her, she was very supportive. She also sang the same tune. She was like, nah, baby, you'll get a new job. So for that, psychological, I don't lie to you,
Yeah.
emotional, it helps you a lot. Because for so many people, I wish they can also have this kind of family support structure because it can pick them up in so many ways. Because I've seen so many people with COVID, how it ravaged them mentally
Yes.
and also
Exactly.
emotionally.
A lot of people, absolutely. Okay, so tell us what you did because I want to get to the, crunch of the story.
So this is me now. I'm going through all these emotions. So it was officially on paper. My last day where I was retrenched was my last day was on the 31st of May. So 31st of May, last day at work, they can't even give you a farewell. It's lockdown, hard lockdown, and everything is like over the phone, like over Zoom, over
Yes.
Microsoft Teams. My manager had to say goodbye. My team members had to call me. The people that I was working with to say goodbye. We're sorry, we couldn't even throw you a party. We can't. We all locked down, so they couldn't do anything. I had to get special permission to go to the office, fetch my stuff, call my family. Luckily, my dad, he passed on in 2006, but he was smart enough while I was still doing grade six. He was smart enough because he set up um, money aside for all of us.
Wow.
That when we reach basically an age of 18 after matric, when we start university, that we would have money. Number two, he bought us a house here in Joburg, in Germiston, back in 2005.
Wow.
So paid off,
Amazing.
house paid off,
Amazing.
even when he
Foresight.
died.
Wow. Wow.
So he was thoughtful for that because now
Good.
I then moved home here in Germiston. So my brothers, they collected me, fetched me from Northwest. We drove up to Germiston. So then I sat down. I started, but before that time, with April, May, those 2 months, I was very much active on LinkedIn because I went into LinkedIn and then I started video interviews. Video interviews would mean that I'm sitting in my room, locked down, hard lockdown, we can't go out. I would dress up the way I'm dressing up, put
Amazing.
my
Love
tie,
it.
like I'm going to work. I would wake up in the morning, shower like I'm going to work because I wanted to put my brain in a mode of I'm not
Amazing.
retrenched.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting a job. I'm waking up. I'm doing something. How am I getting a job? I'm gonna prepare, do videos, and I identified people on LinkedIn who were HR managers, CEOs of different companies, your top engineering companies. Like I was targeting those people, connecting with them, commenting on their posts, and engaging with them as much as I can, and then sending them video interviews. So I would do 1 minute, 30 seconds, put it like this, and then talk. Who am I? What qualifications do I have? What aspirations do I have? And what will I be bringing to their company when they do hire a person like me who's full of energy, motivation? I'm motivated. I would like to pursue my goals. So what has happened to me with the retrenchment? I didn't want to put it in my mind. So I started
Right.
doing that. I would target people, 5 to 10 people each and every day. Monday to Friday, I was
Yeah.
working. Weekends, I was taking rest.
You were
And then
working,
that
you were
led,
carrying on working, you were still on a job, and your job right now was to find a job. So you did everything you
yes,
needed to. And you're speaking about mindset shifts here, which are so important, not to get into the mindset of a retrenched person, of a person who's lost their job and is feeling, maybe a bit like a victim, maybe a bit like, it's not fair what happened to me. You kept a mindset of I'm working, I'm getting up in the morning, I'm putting on my shirt and tie and looking smart. Yes. For those who are only listening and not seeing the video, you look incredibly smart. I love your style. And in fact, they should also Google you and see how you dress anyway. But every day you were going to work. You were putting on your shirt, your smart shirt, your tie. You were doing the videos. You were researching the people to contact. You were sending out stuff. And that's just this never give up attitude, right? This what more can I do? What more can I do? What more can I do? And as you say, Monday to Friday, you were working, weekends you were off.
yes. And then I said to myself, that was phase one.
That was phase
So
one,
phase
exactly.
phase two of my plan was when I moved to Joburg. So now I moved back home here in Germiston. As I moved back, I said, now I need to go to phase two. Phase two of my plan would now say that, Mr. Mbatha, you can actually, I want to become a walking billboard. How do I become a walking billboard? Because now I tapped into that brain of mine where basically it's a sales brain. I need to now become a walking billboard. How do I become a walking billboard? Which place can I go to which will expose me to a lot of people? Even though we are restricted with the movements, I still have a car. Lucky enough, I still have a car. And with my former company, Rheinmetall and Ammunition, they took care of me because I had a pension. The pension paid out. Everything was taken care of me. So with that financial support, I was lucky enough also, because if I didn't work for a company that also gave me those kind of things, I was going to be doomed for those 3 months while I was looking for a job, because financially I didn't have to worry about petrol, food, how can I get to there. I still had my Clio, which was white. I loved it so much. So I then said, let me go to the busiest places, which initially I identified Sentin. So I said, okay, Sentin, richest square mile in Africa. How do I make sure that when I get there, I get to make the most impact? The most important people get to see me with my talent, with my CVs. I asked my brother to print me CVs from his workplace. He printed my CVs. So I would carry 20 copies of CVs. So that was the process. Go there, park your car next to the how train where they normally park. You pay that ticket, and then I walk to Catherine and West intersection. You know how busy that is.
I know
People
how
from
busy that is,
Gautrain, you've got your
yeah.
Sasso buildings, you've got your Palawold building, like everyone is there. So I had a billboard, like it's still in the back of my carport. I always travel with it. It's my inspiration, daily inspiration. So I made sure that I wrote my name with my number, and then what my qualification was, and then also the number of years of experience which I had at the time. It was basically 5 years of experience, which was my permanent job, and also some of my internships. So I combined all of that, and also what I'm looking for. And I also said there, I also have my CV with me, with a smile. My smile, every time I do an email, you always see my smile. It's always my signature. Why is it my signature? Because I believe in staying positive and smiling at life, despite whatever circumstances that I'm going to face, because it gives me that boost. So when people were seeing me on those traffic lights, they saw that this person is looking for something. Yes, some people were swearing at me. I don't want to
Really?
lie to you, but
Really?
yes,
Did
a
you have
lot.
some rude
But I didn't care.
comebacks? Yeah.
A
Didn't
lot.
matter.
But
Didn't matter.
no, I didn't care
So
because
you
the
actually
goal.
stood at the traffic light with a billboard on you with your name, contact details, experience, packet of CVs in hand, and with a big smile on your face, and willing to hand that out to whoever would ask for it, whoever would give you the opportunity to give them your CV. And I think, to me, I just want to say that is incredible, because some people stay at home and say, I need a job. And you were saying to yourself, what else can I do? I am willing to do anything, and something that not many people would be prepared to do. You didn't care what people think of you. I think that's such a big thing. We often care what people think, and we stop ourselves from doing stuff. And yet those are the things when you take a risk and you put yourself out on that. You really did. You put yourself out there with a big smile, didn't let yourself get despondent, and you got the result. You got the result that you wanted. So you said
the duration, that was actually
3 months.
I did that for 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
So why
okay.
I did that for 3 weeks? The first 2 weeks I was at Catherine and West.
Yeah.
On the second week, I got chased away by securities around the area.
Okay.
Apparently, they said people who were owning those buildings were saying around. They were saying that I should move there. I'm not allowed to be there. They chased me on a Thursday. I tried to come back on a Friday because I said to them, I'm just looking for work. I'm not looking for money. I'm not begging for. I'm just looking for work. That's all. I'm not troubling anyone. They said, no, you're not needed here. You should move away. If we find you here, you're going to get in trouble. So then I was scared because at the same time, I didn't want commotion. Because now I had a goal. I was focused on making sure that I need to get work. So then on the third week, I went to Randburg. Why did I go to Randburg? I then said, in Randburg, ETV Studios is close to that Hyde Park.
Okay.
So then I saw, ETV Studios, come on, media. The people who are passing here is going to be people who are influential, rich people. You see, those influential people. Then I went onto those traffic lights in Blackberry. I went to the street, very full. I stood there for a week again. People were taking my CVs, people were taking pictures of me, and I couldn't do it for the fourth week because now I was going to different interviews. I was getting calls.
Amazing. So you were getting calls and interviews as a result of this. So you're saying Randburg were way better than Sandton for this, right?
It was way better, and I felt like a superstar. People were like, wanted a piece of Ayanda. But I was saying to myself, focus on the task. Focus on the task. Plan my days. I cannot go to the traffic lights anymore on the fourth week. Now I need to go to different interviews, plan my time, prepare for my interviews. And I was also doing different things on different radio stations like Mr. Darren Scott. I also, he said he saw me there on the traffic lights, and then he saw my picture on Facebook. He invited me on his radio station. It was online, and I spoke on what I was doing and why I was doing it. And then him and his station, they actually gave me 5,000 rand for petrol.
Wow.
They said, we're just giving you this money just for you to pour petrol and keep on looking for work as much as you can. So I had that
people in this world, hey? There are good people in this world who really want to help. And I think also when you put yourself out in this way, that you're willing to stop at nothing to get yourself your goal, get yourself the job, there are people who want to help you. You know, it comes together. Amazing.
Yes, definitely. Because also for me, it was, I would normally say to myself, looking in front of the mirror, no one cares. Number one.
Right.
No one cares, but what will I do as Ayanda Mbatha?
Yeah.
Simple. Goal is go and get a job. Put yourself out there, but one of those people will care.
Amazing.
And
you only need one,
happening.
Right? You only need one. And it started happening. And I love that you're saying it actually was way more than one person. It was a lot of people that stood up and paid attention and saw you and saw your need, and eventually you got the interview for the job that you are in today.
Yes, because basically I was doing so many interviews. I think I did about close to 7 interviews, if I'm not mistaken, and I got run about 4 to 5 different offers on table.
Amazing.
So with all those offers, I had to choose. So
Wow.
then I chose this company, Recruitmatics, which I'm a mechanical project engineer in this
Amazing.
company. I started that role on the first, basically on the 1st of September in 2020.
Wow.
And it has never
Well
been the
done.
same again.
Well done. I think that your story can be so inspiring to people, whether you're looking for a job or whether you are in challenging circumstances or whether you want some other goal to happen for you and you don't know how to go about it, to just think creatively and to not worry about what people think, not go into that victim mode and actually just say to yourself, what more can I do to make this goal happen for me? How much am I prepared to give to actually make it happen? And yeah, that's your story. It's incredibly inspiring, hugely resilient. Yeah.
It's easy to become a victim.
It's
Don't
easy to
lie.
become a victim. It is. It's easy to
Because
fall into that victim mode because then it's
thank you.
everybody else's fault and everybody else's responsibility and not yours.
But what about you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Because I believe that in life, if you have an opportunity to change your circumstances, always think positive. Because for me, my positive mindset also backed with my amazing family support. Because my family was amazing during this process. They're like, yo, you're doing amazing now. We seen you there. I started also going, I started being showed on TV, newspapers like your Sowetan, your News 24, your Rapport, your Huisgenoot, you name it, your Renpeck
Yeah, I
Sun.
love that. I did look at some of those articles and I saw you there with a shirt and tie, holding the banner, the board, and it just shows what you can do to make things happen for yourself. And in fact, I'll add a link to one of those articles in the show notes so people can have a look at it as well. So Ayanda, what is your message to people out there? What do you want people to know and remember?
So basically, for me, what I want people to remember, especially the young people, I'm 28 years of old. Normally, I like to send out my message to young professionals because I believe that it's people that basically are the same age as me, and at the same time, I want them to take social media and use it to their advantage. Because I don't want to lie to you, it's easy for us to post videos on Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp, and Facebook, but it's so difficult for people in my generation to actually post videos on a professional site such as LinkedIn. Hence, I started the initiative, the competition called the hashtag video interview competition, because it was something that I did myself. I saw how it worked
Tell us about this
with
initiative.
me.
What is it, the video interview competition?
So basically, the hashtag video interview competition is a competition where I get to put people to become walking billboards using their videos where they can actually present themselves and tell us more about them, what qualifications they have, what experience they have, where they studied, and also what are they bringing to their next potential employer. Because I became very much influential, because on LinkedIn currently I've got over 17,500 followers. I saw my following was gaining a lot of traction. So I said to myself, because so many of these people helped me to get employment, I need to turn this fame into something positive, because I've always wanted to give back to people. So now you don't have that monetary value. So I said to myself, nah, I've got data, I've got the influence on LinkedIn. So let me try this thing. So I started going to different, basically approaching different people when it comes to HR who can revamp CVs, who can help them with psychometric evaluation, who can help them with interviews for free. I've never paid those people monetary money. All the people that are working for these different companies, they've been doing their services for free, because I said to them, I've got this idea. This is what I want to do, but I cannot pay you guys. They were all jumping. They said, and your story is inspiring. We're going to help you.
Yeah.
Whatever you need from us. So with
Amazing.
this competition, it normally runs for the first 20 days in a month, in that specific month when it's open. So from day 1 up until day number 20, where they get to present. So all the videos that they normally post, they tag my name, and then they use the official hashtag video interview competition. Once they do that, then I repost it on my profile, and then I put a unique entry number. Because I've got influence of all these people, they get to look at them, and already over 50 people have been hired. And for me,
Amazing.
the joy
Ayanda. Oh my
comes
gosh.
with people when they get hired, because I just understand the pain of looking for work. Because now I set them up with professional services where, especially young graduates, they know what to expect. They already know the careers that they're studying. They can be prepared on interviews. They can dress smart. They know what to expect because as the youth, some of us were not taught how to handle interviews. But luckily for some of us, we attended a class called communication back in university. My friends used to dump to actually bunk that class. I love that class because it taught me so much on how to do proper emails as an engineer, do proper
Yes.
emails, how to communicate effectively so that you can
Fantastic.
get your message across. Because
Fantastic.
as engineers, we've got all these
Yeah.
numbers,
Right,
but how to translate
very
it and make it,
technical, but you need to know
yes.
how to reach out to the people around you, to the community, to the people that you need to engage. So, Ayanda, I have to say, I just want to acknowledge you for everything that you've done, because I think the first part of the story is your own resilience and your own never give up attitude and mindset of don't become a victim, but do what you need to do to change your circumstances. And then you took your experience and you created this opportunity and your platform for people to be able to find jobs. So definitely everybody go and look at the hashtag video interview competition. It's definitely worth joining that and being part of that, especially if you're looking for a job. And together with that, I just want to say what a leader you are, Ayanda, because at any point in time, I mean, I talk about leadership and I talk about that everyone is a leader, no matter what you're doing, what your circumstances are, you're a leader. And you've shown that. You've shown that in your toughest time, in your most challenging moments, you were a leader because you didn't succumb to that victim mindset. You were in that space of how do I take responsibility for what's happened to me and make a difference, make a change. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you used your experience. You are using your experience to make a difference in people's lives, to make a difference to those around you. The resilience, fortitude, and leadership that you've shown is now being put to good use by helping other people find work and using your platform and being creative with this video interview challenge, which I absolutely love. So I just want to acknowledge you for who you are, because you are a source of energy and inspiration and leadership, and I think so many people can learn from you and draw inspiration from you, and I just want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much. It wasn't easy, but I had to make it easy so that the next person who is about to give up can see how easy it is and then put in the work. Because the most important thing is, as the youth, we need to put in the work. Honestly, employers are there.
Yeah.
They're looking for you.
Yeah, I love that. I love that
You
message.
just need to put in the work.
Yeah, and
just need
when
to
you're
put in
on
the
that point of about to give up, always know that there's something more you can do. So before we wrap up, what is your final words that you would like to share with our listeners today? And also maybe tell people how they can reach you, what the best way is if you'd like to do that.
So basically, for people to reach me, they can reach me on my email address. It's ayandambatha2@gmail.com.
Great, we'll put that in the show notes as well. I'm sure they can connect with you on LinkedIn as well.
Yes, they can. Ayanda Mbatha, experienced mechanical engineering technologist. They can reach out to me there. And also, they can also reach out to me on Facebook, Ayanda Mbatha, Twitter, Ayanda Mbatha 4. So for me, I like to say to young people, let's use social networks. As much as we can play with them, let's use them to our advantage. Because there's so many employers that are on these social networks that are looking forward to you guys, especially LinkedIn. It's professional. I don't lie to you. You'll find people that will inspire you. You'll find people that are also focused about life, about achievements, about putting you where you want to be, who are not jealous, who would like to see the best out of people like you, wherever you are. So people who are inspiring. Hence, for me, I also ended up finding mentors through LinkedIn, people who got inspired by my story and reached out to me. And when they reached out to me, I asked to be mentored by them, because as you travel this road of being a young professional in the working industry, you need to be mentored so that you can guide it onto things that you wouldn't be able to know as young as you can be. So for me, it's all about giving back as much as I can, because what people did for me, I don't want to lie to me, Miss Daphne, it's amazing. So I don't care how many people I can get for them to get those jobs. I don't care, as many as they can be. There's no number that I want to restrict myself. As much as you can get those jobs. We just ended up also finishing part 9, and the people that won on part 9 are being assisted, psychometric evaluations. Even my panelists, if you can go to to my hashtag on LinkedIn, you'll see all my panelists, the people that are there, people who are influential when it comes to society, people who are willing to do things for free. I don't want to lie to you, these services are very expensive.
Yep. Yep.
They
And
are
people
very
are willing
expensive.
to help and give up their time. And I think you also raised an important point is reach out to people and make people your mentors, ask the questions and do what you need to do. And I want to just highlight for a minute the other side of the employers to say that you, Ayanda, and people like you are what employers have to look forward to. It's this level of energy and drive and just wanting to make a difference and being purpose driven that can only add and contribute to a working environment. So thank you so much, Ayanda.
Because just one more point, because especially us as youth, we've become so negative. What's happening in the country and whatsoever. But what can you do to change this high unemployment rate? That's all I have to say to young people. What can you do? Forget about the government. What can you do as an individual?
I think that's an awesome message to leave with, because it's what can you do? You can always do something. And I think your story just tells us that exactly 100%. So thanks again, Ayanda. Thanks for being here, and just go well. I look forward to seeing everything else that you'll be up to in the future.
Thank you so much, Ms. Daphne, for the invitation, and thank you so much for taking that time to arrange this whole podcast.